Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am beyond excited to have a conversation with actor Dominic Rains. Dominic currently stars as Dr. Crockett Marcel in Chicago Med, a show that I am currently obsessed with. Um, Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's get started. Who has had the biggest impact on the person you have become?
You mean in my life right
Yes,
now? I mean,
yes.
definitely. I think right now it's by a long shot my wife. My wife Shireen. She's been she's my rock. She has been my lifeline. She has been an incredible teacher in my life. Um, she's my best friend, my life partner. She's everything.
Oh, I
She's my
love,
inspiration. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, she's something else. She's
Yeah,
an incredible human being. I lucked out.
yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What motivates you even on days when you aren't really feeling it?
Well, knowing that there's someone who's got it way worse than I do, and that enough is to get me out of my chair and or out of my seat and move and recognize how fortunate I am to to have the life that I have, to have my limbs and a mind that, even though I have my own struggles and challenges in life, I'm able to apply uh, a good heart to life and allow that to guide me forward.
Yeah,
I'm in a positive, safe environment. I work with great people. I have an incredible partner. Um, so I have a lot to be thankful for, and I don't want to waste it because I know that life is pretty short and it could all come to an end at any point. And I don't want to regret anything at that moment that I could have done, I didn't do.
yeah, yeah. Um, If you had a reality TV show about your life, what would it be called?
Oh, that's a good one. I've never pondered.
Yeah.
What would it be called? Musings and then some.
Oh, I love that.
Musings and then some.
I love that. I think that's a great title.
Great.
Yeah,
Then that's what we'll go with if that ever happens.
yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
My wife's laughter, um, seeing other people happy, seeing other people excited, um, being able to help someone, be of service in some way, even if it's very little. It just makes me feel really good. I
Yeah,
like that feeling. Um, when I connect to that feeling, it feels like I can expand into it, and the feeling just gets richer and richer.
yeah.
Um, I love to meditate, so that brings me a great deal of peace and joy. Um, what else is there? That's exercise, does that. Um, reading a book with wisdom, in there, something I could pull from that'll provide me some sense of peace in life, and um, that allows me again to realize how fortunate I am. It just, keeps any noise that's rattling off in my mind at bay.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Appreciate your
Um,
questions.
yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. So I am pop culture obsessed and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is
Yeah.
there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Believe it or not, I'm not.
Mm.
Um, I it's very funny. Unless someone said you got to check this show out or you got to check out this movie, I don't actually watch too much TV. I actually spend quite a lot of time watching random videos like on furniture making and carpentry. So random, I know, but it's just what it gets me excited these days. Watching that, it's soothing and it's therapeutic watching it. Um, what's something I watched recently that was a show that I liked? I mean, I did kind of like this last season of The Crown. Um, I couldn't tell you. I really, really couldn't tell you. I don't remember the last, besides that one, I don't remember the last show I watched.
Mm.
Was there any popular ones what do you like? What did you like?
Um, so right now the main shows I'm watching are I'm watching Chicago Med and Grimm. Um,
Oh, right. Yeah.
um, yeah, and then I don't know. I'm forgetting all my
Yeah,
mom
maybe
and
that's what
I
it is.
usually binge watch. Yeah. Like if we usually find shows that we binge watch together. Um, but
Yeah.
now I can't remember the last one.
Yeah, no, I know, me too. It's crazy. There's just so much out there. I think there's streaming fatigue.
Yeah.
It's real. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Streaming fatigue.
Yeah.
But yeah, like yourself, I don't remember, or there's just, my mind has been in other places. So like anytime that I get, if I'm not meditating or exercising or reading a book I've been meaning to catch up on or learning lines for work. Um, I'm currently in Chicago, but my wife and we live in New York. So I've been having to deal with a few things there in regards to our home. So mm, I've I've had to disperse so much energy into all these different places. Like I just don't have it in me to start and finish a whole series.
Yeah.
So I I guess that's part of my interest in outside of, I watch news. It's kind of what's happening internationally and worldwide right now. Um, but besides that, something that provides me, you know, some joy these days is watching carpentry videos.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so do you have any irrational fears?
Well, fears, irrational fear. I don't have any kind of like, I don't get jumpy around, insects or animals or anything like that. I don't have any kind of like pronounced like fears, where it's something. I mean, I'd say that the one fear I do have is fear of heights. Like that definitely makes my heart beat in like if I'm at the ledge or at the edge of a balcony or I'm very high up, that'll definitely have an effect on me. So fear of heights for sure.
Mm,
But that's really the only one I could tell you that if I understand correctly what you mean by irrational.
yeah.
Yeah. But outside of that, I feel like fear has been fear always takes me to contemplate death. And
Mm,
I feel like over the years I've kind of shifted my perspective on death, and therefore it's shifted my perspective on or how I experience fear.
mm,
Um, I'm I'm a little bit more easygoing around it,
mm,
you know. Also because I view death as something that could be imminent. It could happen at any moment. I hope I live a long life, but you know, it's not guaranteed.
mm,
So
mm.
that has definitely shifted how I experience fear. But in regards to your question, I'd say a fear of heights in regards to irrational fears. That's the one that it's like, you know, I can feel my heart beat a lot faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what song best describes your life right now?
Oh man, that is a good question. The song that best describes my life right now. That is a good question. I think if I were to, and I'm just going to look at my playlist real quick because I don't always, yeah, I'm very strange when it comes to film, television, music. I don't always listen to music, but there's a couple that come to mind that I think. How about I give you a few that
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
So this new artist Noah Kahan,
Oh yeah.
he's got this song called Northern Attitude with Hozier, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love him.
yeah, he's fantastic. I like
Yeah.
this one by John Bryant called Paradise.
Oh,
I'm really connected to that. There's one by Labyrinth called Kill for Your Love, which is really great. Really, really great. Um, and then you know, my background is Persian. So there's a Persian singer that I really am a big fan of. His name is Faramars Aslani, and he's got a few songs that really just touch my heart. And I don't know, it makes me feel like his songs make me feel like I experience what my parents experienced, you know,
yeah.
living in Iran and meeting each other and going through you know the beautiful parts of what our culture you know is um, so I'll listen to him quite often actually.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what movie or show do you find yourself quoting more often than you'd like?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not that guy who quotes films or shows. I would not at all, but
Mm,
if
mm,
there ever was one
yeah,
you know that I were to uh, I guess that would rumble around in my head. Uh, I'm foreshadowing here. Is the Rocky series. You know, I think there is some truly, you know, there are lines in there that I think a lot of people um, have in their memory bank and use from time to time. There's also a few Scorsese films that also have had that effect. from like Taxi Driver and Mean Streets. But even still, you know, I'm not one who does. You know who does really well at quoting TV shows and movies is
Okay.
Steven Weber, who plays
Yeah.
Dr. Archer. He's fantastic. He's like an encyclopedia, an almanac of TV and movies.
Oh, wow.
He's such an incredible guy, and he's so knowledgeable, so intelligent, and you know, just someone who has such a deep appreciation for film, for the study of film, film history. He's just so good about that.
Yeah.
Um, Oliver as well. Oliver as well. And Michael Pressman, who used to be our producing director, he still comes to direct every now and then. You know, hearing him and Steven talk is just like you're
Yeah.
foaming at the mouth. Um, it's so rich with so much history and so much film culture. Yeah,
Oh, wow. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like my brain is mostly just like movie and show quotes, just that I wait
Oh, amazing.
until I can put like reference in the conversation. So
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I've never been good about that. I've never been good about that. I wish I could just rattle off some great lines, or maybe it's if I'm on the spot, I can't. But we'll get off the our meeting here, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, there's that one, and there's
yeah,
this one.
yeah. Yeah, that always seems to be how it goes, that you can't remember in the moment and then
Exactly.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Make sure in bed by 10.
I like that one.
Warning, make sure he's in bed by 10. Uh, yeah, I think that's a good one. I could use more sleep now than ever, and after a certain hour, I get kind of kooky. Kooky could be good,
Yeah.
kooky could be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say there's like it could be good and entertaining, and then other times, yeah, it could maybe not be so good.
Yeah,
So
right, exactly, exactly.
yeah. Yeah. Um, so what is your proudest accomplishment so far?
Hmm. It's got to be a combination of having met and married my wife and my spiritual practice. That those two, and I view those two as kind of almost one and the same.
Oh, oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's because that both of those are everlasting, in
Yeah.
this life and onwards. Everything else is just so um, it's so fleeting, you know.
Yeah.
There's no real ownership. There's just a kind of use and then moving on. But
Yeah.
both of those experiences, because they're constantly feeding my heart, and that brings me joy and peace, or a way to look at things that I haven't differently, a way to see life differently, and hopefully experience the riches of the heart
Yeah.
and take those into the next life,
Yeah.
whatever that may be.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have two more questions for you, if that works.
Yeah.
So what lessons from your childhood have most impacted your worldview?
That's a great question. Um, well, I was born in Iran during a war, and my parents went through a very, very challenging time, you know, post, the revolution and in the middle of the war and what was going on with their families. And, we were incredibly lucky to get out because I had many family members who were not able to. And from there, we moved to London, and then, I had a childhood there, and then Dallas. But, it's interesting in all these places that I had the good fortune of being born in and being raised in the end, I found home to be with people. You know, Today that's with my wife. It doesn't matter where we are. Or, there was a moment it was with my folks, and um, I know what it was like for our family to come from nothing, to have nothing, literally, and for my parents to struggle in a way that I was desperate to change, as a child, not wanting to see that kind of suffering, and that kind of expanded out.
Yeah,
I feel incredibly fortunate that I didn't grow up in a family environment that gave me everything I wanted.
yeah.
Um, um, I don't know if I'm answering your question. Give me your question one more time. I was
Um,
I was driving this somewhere, and I can't remember.
yeah, that happens to me all the time. So it was, what lessons from your childhood have most
Oh,
impacted your worldview?
right. What lessons? That's what it was. What lessons? Don't talk too much. That's what one of the lessons. Um, but I think one of the main lessons in life for me has been to not judge where people are at and who they are and what they're going through. Um, I've met people from all walks of life. I've met people that you would think you would need to nod your head to who have really been ugly. I've met people that some in society would, look down at, and they've been some of the most incredible people I've ever met.
Yeah,
Um, you don't know who's going to affect you how. You don't know the riches of the heart that you might experience from what might be the poorest person,
yeah,
or the delusions of grandeur that might be passed on to you by someone who is experiencing the riches of this life materialistically, that might be shiny objects that may not serve you. um, so I've learned to discern, and one of the reasons I love living in New York is that it forces you into that kind of position where you don't know who you're standing next to. You don't know who you're walking next to, who you're in the subway with, who might have a profound effect on your life. And it may just be through observation, not even through a connection.
yeah,
And I think that has been the greatest lesson, is for me to recognize that
yeah,
every human being is a teacher in some way of my life and what I'm understanding of it. Because I don't understand much. I'm I'm pretty ignorant, and I have much to learn in life. Um, but in the short time that I've been here, and I've had the good fortune of coming across some pretty amazing people, I have learned that things that I thought were a person I thought was this thing was not. In fact, they were the complete opposite. And somebody else who I had no expectation of because I just didn't view them that way ended up becoming the very thing that I needed. Um, so, you know, in this life, a prince, in the next, maybe a pauper,
Yeah.
you know? So I think it's been really profound watching that over the years in my mind, experiencing people. And
Yeah.
the greatest lesson is to not judge what they offer me because I don't know
Yeah.
what I think somebody may offer me and may end up hurting me. Like if I think that what they're offering me is, they're bringing me something great, whatever it may be, but it ends up hurting somebody else who I expect nothing from ends up shifting my life in the most profound way.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if that
Yeah.
was I didn't articulate that too well, but
No, yeah, that was no, I love that. Yeah. Um, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is to be happy, you must let go of what's gone, be grateful for what remains, and look forward to what is coming next.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah, is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Yeah, there's a quotation from Carl Jung, great psychotherapist, psychologist. Um, he says, when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. That has been a guiding principle in how I see life. That if I don't attend to what is happening to me beneath the surface, eventually people will experience it and will see it. Um, there's only so far we can go, stuffing those things that affect us or those things we don't want to face. Um, and how wonderful to receive the opportunity to purify them and to face them and challenge them in hopes that we may arise to the occasion and even more we may take it and soar and really experience a growth unlike anything that we expected
Yeah,
as a result of facing it.
yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for
Um,
sharing that quote with me. That was really yours was wonderful.
oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing yours. I had never heard that
Yeah.
before, and I think that's a great one.
Thank you for the opportunity to express it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so much fun talking with you today. I just had the best time. I still can't believe I'm talking to you right now. So thank you.
It's so sweet. Thank you. The pleasure's been all mine. Thank you for having me be a part of your journey and bringing me into Maya's world. Really appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I so appreciate your taking the time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You as well, Maya. You as
Thank
well.
you.
Such a
Thank you.
pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Hopefully
you.
we'll have a chance to meet in person someday.
Yeah, I would love that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Um,
Okay.
And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.